The National Fire Agency has announced plans to utilize AI in the response to 119 emergency calls to identify the most optimal routes for dispatching firefighters and equipment, replacing the current jurisdiction-based system.
소방청이 인공지능 AI를 기반으로 한 차세대 119 통합 시스템을 구축함으로써 기존 행정구역 기준 대신 시도 경계를 넘는 최적의 출동 체계를 구현해 출동 시간을 단축한다는 계획을 발표했습니다.
Yeah, so the fire agency here is updating and modernizing its system by using AI. We're
Sounds
seeing
like
AI.
a great way to use AI.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the goal of the fire response officials primarily is to put out fires and other emergencies, right?
And
you
as
would hope
quickly as possible.
as quickly as possible,
Yeah.
exactly, because time is of the essence, right? They don't want to miss that golden time,
Yeah.
as they say, right? But with the help of technology and specifically artificial intelligence, what they'll be able to do now is to deploy the closest fire trucks to the incident, and also detecting battery fires from electric cars, which are also increasing. Also using drones and other equipment to provide the control center with the estimated route to the flames, because again, they want to get there as fast as possible, right?
Yeah, because it takes time when you're making these calls to the other districts and saying, can you send this person over? Should we be sending it from this district or that district? It's just a waste of time. So AI is going to cut that time. And as you said, time is of the essence.
Yes, because time is the most important, right?
네, 굉장히 좋은 표현인데요. Time is of the essence. 우리 얼굴에 바르는 에센스도 있지만 여기에서 쓰는 essence라는 것은 굉장히 중요하다라는 뜻이에요. 그래서 시간이 금이다. 시간이 제일 중요하다라는 뜻으로 time is of the essence. All right. Well, let's have a look at how AI will be able to tell us, well, not us, but the 119 operators, which is the optimal route to take.
Yeah, so if something is optimal, that means it is probably the most effective, right? The best sort of solution for achieving a simple, specific goal.
Yep.
In this case, we're talking about optimal routes or routes that fire engines or firefighters can take to get to the blaze or the emergency.
네, 최적이라는 의미의 optimal이 쓰였습니다. 최적의가 되겠죠. This reminds me of the Transformer, Optimus Prime.
I was debating whether to say that
Really?
or not, but
Okay.
yes, that is the same root word, right?
Because, the name itself, makes you think of something that is the best of the best. Because
Yeah.
optimal already means 최적이다, or Optimus in this case. And then prime also means something that is at the best.
Right.
So Optimus Prime is like 최고의 transformer, right?
Right. If you want to kind of distinguish it from best, it's a little more formal to say something's optimal, and there's a sort of implication there that there's some sort of calculation or an analysis there,
Good
right?
point.
Yeah.
그러네요. 그냥 best랑 optimal에는 분명히 차이가 있죠. 이제 여러 가지를 고려했을 때 계산까지 하고 보니까 이 루트가, 이 방법이 최적이겠다. 그래가지고 AI를 이용해서 앞으로는 이제 119 출동을 할 때 이 루트, 저 루트 이제 빨리 계산을 하는 거죠. AI가 정말 몇 초 만에 할 수 있으니까요. 또 그때그때 상황, 도로 상황이라든지 기상 상황 이런 걸 전부 다 고려해서 최대한 빨리 출동을 할 수 있도록 AI를 활용한다는 겁니다. Now, before, it was a jurisdiction-based system.
Right. So what AI is hoping to do is to replace this jurisdiction-based system. So a jurisdiction would be a sort of geographic or legal area that someone is responsible for. Usually it could be a local government or some sort of administrative body. So depending on where something takes place. So a jurisdiction-based system would be kind of where you're responsible in that area.
그렇죠. 이 관할 구역을 여기서 얘기하고 있어요. jurisdiction이라는 게 관할권이라는 의미가 있기 때문에 jurisdiction-based system은 쉽게 말해서 각각의 지역, 이렇게 시도별로 그동안에는 이제 출동을 정했었는데, 이제 앞으로 AI를 활용하게 되면은 뭐 필요할 때는 이 시도를 넘어서서 뭐 저기서 출동하는 게 더 빠르다, 뭐 좋다, 이런 것들을 AI가 추천을 해주겠죠.
Yeah.
이렇게 이제 차세대 119 통합 시스템이 구축이 되고, AI 기반으로 앞으로는 재난 대응을 하겠다라는 소방청의 발표입니다. 다시 읽어볼게요. The National Fire Agency has announced plans to utilize AI in the response to 119 emergency calls to identify the most optimal routes for dispatching firefighters and equipment, replacing the current jurisdiction-based system. All right, let's move on to the second headline.
Korea's employment rate for people in their 20s fell in 2025 for the first time in 5 years, as a shrinking population and a weak job market weighed on hiring, according to the Ministry of Data and Statistics.
국가데이터처의 경제활동 인구조사 결과 인구 감소 및 고용시장 냉각으로 취업문이 좁아지면서 지난해 국내 20대 고용률이 5년 만에 처음으로 하락했습니다.
Yeah. So the average employment rate for people in their 20s, talking about people aged 20 to 29, stood at 60.2% last year, and that's down 0.8 percentage points.
Right.
And that's the first time since the pandemic. In fact, you would expect that during the pandemic in 2020, obviously when things slowed down
Yeah.
because of COVID. But the number of last year, the number of employed people in their 20s, and in absolute value was about 3.4 million. So that's down as well, 170,000. Now you might think, hey, because the population is decreasing, obviously the employment rate is going to decrease as well. But the more troubling thing is that the employment rate is declining at a steeper rate than the population decrease. So it's actually worse than the absolute numbers there.
Right. 모든 연령층의 고용률이 증가한 반면에 20대의 고용률만 하락했습니다. 특히 몇 명이 이제 덜 고용이 됐느냐를 보게 되면은요. 가장 최근 데이터인 2025년 데이터에서는 17만 명이 전년도에 비해서 덜 고용이 됐고요. 20대입니다. 그 전해에는 한 12만 명, 또 그 전년도에는 한 8만 명. 그러니까 갈수록 더 많은 20대가 고용이 안 되고 있다라는 얘기니까 좀 걱정이 많이 되는데요. We're talking about people in their 20s for all sorts of reasons, I'm sure. It could be because they want a better job, or maybe they want to get, maybe they want to study, or they want to get a professional job, like a higher paying job.
Yeah, but it's what's troubling is from an economic standpoint is that people in their 20s these are people that are now just entering the workforce, and it's an indication in the future of where the economy might be going. And a lot of times you might not say people in their 20s, they're just now figuring out what they're doing. They might not be in their career, but it's also important. The people in their 20s, they're young, they're vibrant, and they really, bring a lot of new ideas, you would hope, to the workforce. But so this is not a good trend for the Korean economy.
It isn't. So people in their 20s means 20대 사람들?
Yeah, if you want to be technical about it, people between the ages of 20 and 29, and because we're talking about it in a statistical sense, you can use it in everyday speech, but in news reporting, surveys, demographic polls, you hear this word a lot, right?
그래요. People in their 20s, 20대 연령층을 얘기하고 있습니다.
Of which we are not, you and I.
No, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
We're also not in our 30s either. 30대 고용률 같은 경우에는 남녀 차이가 좀 있었어요. 평균적으로는 고용률이 증가했지만 남성의 고용률은 소폭 감소했고요. 여성의 고용률은 늘었습니다.
Oh, that's
이런 이제
interesting.
성별의 차이도 있는데 그걸 또 좀 break it down 하게 되면은 남성 같은 경우에는 특히 제조업과 건설업에 종사하는 남성들이 많은데요. 그 숫자가 좀 줄어들었고 여성들 같은 경우에는 보건 서비스업에 종사하는 여성이 많은데 늘었습니다. 그
Yeah.
숫자가요. 그런 덕분에 전체적으로 좀 늘었죠.
And that's probably a reflection of how Korea's economy has changed from a more manufacturing-based economy to a more services-based economy, right?
Definitely. All right, let's have a look at weighing on something.
Yeah, if something weighs on you, it's causing you a lot of worry, a lot of pressure, a lot of negative sort of emotional or psychological burden on you, right?
So here it says a shrinking population and a weak job market weighing on hiring.
So in this case, it'd probably be putting more pressure on hiring, right?
부담으로 작용한다라는 뜻이 되겠군요. 우리 무게를 재는 것도 weighing이라고 하지만 이런 무게와 관련된 단어가 또 여기서 statistics에서는 부담이 된다 라는 의미로 쓰는 거죠. So this weak job market has become a burden on hiring.
Yes.
Okay. 자, 다시 읽어보겠습니다. Korea's employment rate for people in their 20s fell in 2025 for the first time in 5 years as a shrinking population and a weak job market weighed on hiring, according to the Ministry of Data and Statistics.
India's aviation regulator has imposed a record $2.4 million fine on the country's largest airline, Indigo, and directed the carrier to remove the head of its operations control from his duties, following widespread flight cancellations last month.
인도 항공 규제 당국은 지난달 항공기 수천 편의 운항을 취소해 항공 대란을 일으킨 인도 최대 항공사 인디고 항공에 역대 최고인 245만 달러의 과징금을 부과하는 한편 사내 운영 통제센터 책임자를 관련 업무에서 해임하도록 조치했습니다.
Yeah.
About 4,500 flights were cancelled, right?
In the first weeks of December alone.
goodness.
Because India is known as the world's fastest growing aviation market, tens of thousands of passengers across the country were stranded. They had nowhere to go because their flights were canceled.
Well, why were the flights cancelled?
Well, the airline has acknowledged that poor pilot roster planning was the main cause.
It wasn't even inclement weather.
It wasn't technical issues. It wasn't anything like that. It was human error.
Oh, my goodness.
Something that could have been prevented. Basically, this company is not operating optimally, right, at this point. So what the government did was they imposed a fine, which, like the headline says, $2.4 million. But if you look at the company's annual profit, it's only about 0.3% of the company's profit. So how much of a dent or I guess you could say an impact on the company this will make in terms of trying to improve their services. But, several issues, warnings to several senior executives, the watchdog there, called for caution over inadequate overall oversight of flight operations and crisis management.
이 인디고 항공이요. 인도 최대 항공사라고 합니다. 실제로도 매일 한 2,000편 이상이 운항이 되고 인도 내에서 국내선 시장 점유율이 65% 정도가 될 정도로 상당히 많은 사람들이 이용하는 그런 이제 여객선이 될 텐데 12월에만 한 4,500편의 운항이 취소가 됐어요. And the reason for that 이유는 바로 이제 파일럿이 모자르다든지 이런 이제 인력 부족으로 인해서 취소가 됐기 때문에 그 비행기 타려고 했던 고객들은 얼마나 또 황당하기도 하고 많은 사람들이 불편을 겪었을까 싶어요. 과징금은 36억 원 정도가 됩니다. 우리 돈으로. Alright, let's have a look at the head of operations.
Yeah, this one simply put is the person in charge of an organization, right? The leader, the head. I think even in Korea you have udumori, right? You use the word mori, right?
Yeah. Although we don't use this in the news.
Sure, but the
word
you get the idea.
That's right. 맞아요. 수장이라는 단어도 있죠. 거기서도 머리 숫자를 쓰는데 그런 느낌이에요. 다만 영어에서는 공식적인 문장 속에서 이렇게 뉴스에서도 the head of 어디 이렇게 얘기를 할 수 있습니다. In England, 교장 선생님 is head teacher.
Head teacher.
Or headmaster.
Headmaster, I was going to say.
둘 다 돼요.
Right.
What
I
about
think
in
in
Canada?
Harry Potter, it's principal.
Right. Like
right.
America.
Right.
Yes.
Head honcho. Anything with a head is the leader of something,
Sure.
right? Like in my family, my wife is the head. Head honcho. She calls the shots.
Aha. In England, we say, who wears the trousers in this relationship?
Which I think probably could be a little more, getting more outdated expression in a way.
A little bit
right?
sexist.
Yeah. It's like, who has the steering wheel or something like that.
그렇죠. 누가 이 관계에서 위에 있느냐 이런 표현으로 who drives or who sits behind the steering 뭐라 그러나요? Who has the steering wheel?
Who has the steering wheel?
Who has the steering wheel or who heads this relationship? Who is the head of this relationship? All right, what is something that is widespread?
Yeah, so widespread, one word. If you kind of break it down, it means something that exists or happens over a large area or among many people, right? It's spread out wide, hence the word widespread.
그래요. 광범위하다, widespread. 다시 읽어보겠습니다. India's aviation regulator has imposed a record $2.4 million fine on the country's largest airline, Indigo, and directed the carrier to remove the head of its operations control from his duties following widespread flight cancellations last month. 하나만 더 말씀을 드리자면은 영어에서는 지금 2.4 million이라고만 했어요. 이유는 이제 헤드라인에선 최대한 심플하게 말하는 게 좋기 때문입니다. 2.45 million 해도 되는데 굳이 소수점 뒤에 두 자리까지 갈 필요는 없으니까 이렇게 했고요. 우리말로는 똑 떨어지는 245만 이렇게 쉽게 발음이 되니까
Yeah.
좀 더 구체적으로 우리말로는 번역을 했습니다. Alright, let's move on.
Buddhist temples nationwide attracted nearly 350,000 visitors to their flagship Temple State program last year, marking the highest participation level since it was first introduced in 2002, according to the Jogye Order of Korean Buddhism.
대한불교 조계종에 따르면 지난해 전국 4차례 템플스테이에 참가한 내외국인 수가 35만 명에 달해 이 프로그램이 처음 도입된 2002년 이후 역대 최다를 기록한 것으로 나타났습니다.
Yeah, and it wasn't just Koreans that
Yeah.
participate. The Temple State program is very popular among foreign visitors as well. So among the 350,000 visitors, about 300,000 were Korean nationals. The rest, about 55,000 were foreign tourists. And that participation in the program, nearly 160 temples nationwide, is up 5.1%. It's also probably related to just simply the increase in numbers of foreign visitors to the
Yeah.
country as well. But I did not know that the Temple State program began during the World Cup.
That's right.
In commemoration of that, anticipating people coming into the country, I imagine there's a shortage of accommodations, and so
That's
these
why. It was
Buddhist
for
temples
practical reasons.
open these temples up, and 24 years later, here we go.
Is it 24 years already?
Since
My goodness.
2002?
Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 그래요. 템플스테이가 2002 한일 월드컵 당시에 우리나라에서 이제 숙소가 좀 부족할 것으로 생각이 돼서 그런 부족한 숙소 문제를 해결하기 위해 시작이 된 겁니다. 그래서 2002년에 그래서 시작이 됐고요. 벌써 24년이나 됐네요. 근데 요즘은 또 K-컬처, 한류 관심이 급등하다 보니까 또 단순히 숙소로만 사용하는 게 아니라 어떤 mindfulness, 마음 챙김, 이런 또 mental health 너무 중요하잖아요. 그런 건강을 위해서 쉬러 가는 분들도 참 많은 것 같고 내국인 한 30만 명, 외국인 한 5만 명 정도 해가지고 총 35만 명 가까이가 작년에만 템플 스테이를 이용했다고 합니다. Have you ever stayed at a temple before?
I have not, and it is on
Okay.
my bucket list of
Me
things
too.
to do, right? Yeah.
그러게 말입니다. 자, let's have a look at some expressions. First of all, a flagship program.
Yeah, so this Temple State program, the official one, is run by the Jogye Order of Korean Buddhism.
Okay.
And so it's one of their flagship programs, meaning it's probably their most representative, most well-known, possibly its most important sort of program. When you say something is its flagship, right?
Yep.
Because flagship itself, a business can have its flagship store, meaning its main store, its representative store, right?
And if you even go back to where this word came from, I imagine a fleet of boats
Yes.
and the one right at the front with the big flag on it. That's the one that leads all the other boats and is sort of the representative boat.
Yes,
Well, not
exactly.
boat, but ship.
Ship, right?
그래요. flagship라는 거 우리가 외래어로도 참 많이 쓰는데 이 단어를 하나하나 놓고 보면은 깃발이 있는 큰 배가 되겠잖아요. 그래서 아마 여러 척의 배들 맨 앞에 있는 거의 우두머리격의 그런 배를 말하는 게 아니었을까.
Right.
그래서 대표적이다라는 뜻으로 우리가 쓰고요.
Another good example would be Morning Special is EBS's flagship program.
Yes, indeed. And
Yes.
I am very honored to be a part of it. 자, 다음으로 participation level 볼까요?
Yeah. So participation would be an individual or group taking part in an activity, and if you add the level in there, it's sort of the rate or the amount of participation that's going on.
예, 참여 수준이 되겠네요. Participation level. 자, 다시 읽어보겠습니다. Buddhist temples nationwide attracted nearly 350,000 visitors to their flagship Temple State program last year, marking the highest participation level since it was first introduced in 2002, according to the Choge Order of Korean Buddhism. Now let's move on to the final headline.
NASA's Artemis 2 rocket has been moved to its launch pad as the final preparations get underway for the first crewed mission to the moon in more than 50 years, with the space agency saying the earliest possible launch date is February 6th.
미국이 55년 만에 처음으로 우주 비행사를 달에 보내는 아르테미스 계획 중 2단계 임무 과정이 막바지에 접어듦에 따라 미 항공우주국 나사가 이번 임무에 투입될 발사체를 발사대로 옮겼습니다. 발사 날짜는 빠르면 2월 6일이 될 것으로 전해졌습니다.
Yeah, despite what you might think, the headline says, this mission will not actually land on the moon, but it's going to orbit around it, I believe. So 4 astronauts will travel around the moon. NASA, go ahead.
Go on. No, I was going to say, I believe they could land around 2027 and 2028.
But that will be its next mission. The Artemis 3 mission
okay.
is set to take place no earlier than 2027.
Got it.
So
Right.
before that, the Artemis 2, and if you see the headline, it says it's its first mission to the moon in, over 50 years?
Yeah,
And
55 years.
That's taking, that's from the position of NASA. But I know other space agencies, one that comes to mind is China's space agency. They actually sent, I believe, rovers to the moon recently as well. So from NASA's perspective, it's its first mission to the moon in more than 50 years, since 1972 when the Apollo 17 mission landed on its surface. So again, we're seeing more endeavors into space. I know there are efforts to go to Mars very soon as well. So let's see how this goes.
네, 나사의 아르테미스 2단계 발사 준비 과정을 지금 보도해드렸는데요. 아마 다음 달 초쯤에 발사될 것으로 보여지고 우주 비행사 4명이요. 이게 탑승한 아르테미스 2단계, 아르테미스 2가 되겠습니다. 이 달 궤도를 선회하고 나서 그 다음에 지구에 귀환을 할 예정이에요. 이게 한 10일 정도 걸리는데 성공하면 그 다음에 이제 3단계로 2027년에서 28년 사이에 달 착륙을 또 시도를 해볼 예정이라고 합니다. 그러면
Yeah.
정말 이게 착착착 진행이 된다면은 72년도에 있었던 미국의 달 착륙 이후 미국의 입장에서는 한 55년 만에 이렇게 달 착륙을 하는 게 되겠죠? Alright, let's have a look at to get something underway.
Yeah, if something gets underway, it's beginning
Yeah.
or starting to happen. If it's an event or a mission in this case, right? Or some sort of activity.
본격적으로 진행된다는 뜻이 있어서요. I could say at the start of the show, let's get the show underway.
Yep.
이렇게 표현할 수도 있겠죠. And our show right now is underway.
Right.
진행 중입니다.
Especially when there's some sort of schedule, right? You could say construction work will get underway next month.
To get underway는 이제 시작이 될 거다라는 의미로 쓰는 거고요. It is underway. 그럼 지금 진행이 되고 있다. If a festival is underway, then it's happening right now.
Right. Or in the past tense, you could say the festival got underway last Saturday. You could say that. But
okay.
yeah, it's more commonly used, I think, in the future tense.
Got it. Now let's look at this term, crewed mission, because in the past we used to say manned mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with the times, of
Yeah.
course, a crewed mission is in this case, a space mission that carries human astronauts on board. It could be space, but a crewed mission, would you call it for ship? Usually I think it's in the case of space that you would use this term.
그래요. crewed mission. 여기서 crewed는요. CREWED가 되겠습니다. 우리도 어떤 이제 그룹 멤버들 얘기할 때 크루라고 많이 하잖아요. 그 크루예요. CREW. 자, 근데 이게 crewed 그러니까 사람이 탑승한 그런 우주선을 보내는 미션, 임무. 유인 우주선을 보내는 임무를 얘기하고 있죠. 과거에는 이제 인간도 human이라고 안 하고 man이라고 했고요. 유인 우주선도 manned mission, manned spaceship이라고 표현을 했었는데 아무래도 시대가 변하면서 왜 남자라는 단어로 인간을 항상 표현을 하느냐. 그래서 이제는 가능하면 manned, man 이런 표현보다는 좀 중립적인 표현을 쓰죠.
And the opposite would be an uncrewed
Yes,
mission.
that's right. 아직까지도 unmanned를 많이 쓰기는 하지만 uncrewed 이렇게 또 표현하면은 무인 우주선이 되겠네요. Alright, well here's the headline one more time. NASA's Artemis 2 rocket has been moved to its launch pad as the final preparations get underway for the first crewed mission to the moon in more than 50 years, with the space agency saying the earliest possible launch date is February 6th. All right, well, that's it for the headlines with Shane Harm.
Cold weather alerts have been issued nationwide as a bitter cold wave is set to sweep the country this week, with wind chills expected to plunge to as low as minus 20 degrees Celsius on Wednesday, according to the Korea Meteorological Administration.
이번 주 전국적으로 매서운 한파가 몰아칠 것으로 예상됨에 따라 곳곳에 한파특보가 발효됐으며 강한 바람으로 인해 체감온도는 영하 20도까지 또 떨어질 것으로 보입니다. Today as well, actually, the wind chill factor is around minus 20 in some areas,
Yes.
maybe a little bit colder.
If you ventured outside this morning, you know it is cold. Normally, I can withstand the cold, and today is the one day I said to our PD Nim when she said, "So you're not cold this morning?" I said, "No, I am cold."
Oh, okay.
Goes
so
below
finally.
minus 10 degrees, and
Yeah.
yes, I start to shiver. So most inland areas are expected to remain below freezing in the next couple of days, and the peak is coming on Wednesday, where we'll have minus 15 as the low in northern Gyeonggi province and in Gangwon province in some areas, whereas down south there maybe seeing minus 10 and minus 5. And it's going to be like this till the end of the month.
Wow.
Sub-zero conditions are going to continue because, well, we are in the dead of winter. And, well, we're going to see lots and lots of cold thanks to a low-pressure system that's moving eastwards and is pulling in cold air from the north.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the official term for the North Pole?
The Arctic.
The Arctic.
Yes.
Okay, so cold air from the Arctic has come down and it's apparently just decided to stay above
Yes.
the Korean peninsula for a while.
It's a nice place to be.
Yes, it is. Maybe it heard about the Korean wave. I don't know. But yeah, it is cold because of that. 자, 왜 이렇게 춥느냐? 바로 북극의 찬 공기가요. 우리나라 북쪽 상공으로 내려와서 빠져나가지 못하고 있다고 합니다. 그래서 아마 이번 주 내내 계속 이어질 한파가 그렇게 예상이 되고 있고요. 뭐 선생님은 지금 이달 말까지도 계속 추울 수 있다라고 했는데 오늘이 또 절기상 대한이에요. 그래서 이 이름에 걸맞게 정말 춥습니다. In Seoul today, minus 13 degrees, but it felt like minus 20. In Paju and Gimpo, actually, it was minus 16, minus 17, and
Yeah.
it felt like minus 25. So it's
That's
actually
why it was
colder.
so cold when I got out of the taxi this morning.
Exactly. So when you say it feels like 체감온도,
네.
in English you can say wind chill.
You can,
Yeah.
because it's the temperature that is made colder because of the wind blowing. So sometimes you'll see a feels like or real feel, but
Yeah.
wind chill I think is the more formal term, and certainly the term that weather forecasters will use a lot.
자, feels like 라는 표현을 써도 돼요. 이렇게 느껴진다. 근데 체감온도 얘기할 때 wind chill.
네.
이 표현을 참 많이 씁니다. 그래서 이제 바람이 부니까 더 춥게 느껴진다라는 거를 이 두 단어 안에 묘사한 것 같아요. So the wind chill in a lot of the metropolitan areas today is around minus 20 degrees, very cold. You could say it's a bitter cold wave.
Oh, it is, and that's not a nice thing to say. If something is bitterly cold, it's really, really, really cold, and so cold that it's not very nice at all.
In terms of taste, what's a bitter thing?
I think we say coffee is bitter.
yes, yes.
I think if you're a beer drinker, then stout is bitter. That black beer.
Is that 흑맥주?
Yes.
Okay.
I won't name the brand, but
Okay,
from Ireland,
yeah.
a very popular
Oh,
Irish
yes.
beer
Okay,
is
okay.
bitter. In fact, in the UK, we have a whole range of beers that are bitters because they are bitter.
아, 그러네요. 이게 쓰다라고 할 때 그것도 bitter예요.
네.
그리고 실제로 bitter라는 이름의 술도 영국에서 많이 마신다는 거죠.
Yeah, because so some people would ask for a pint of bitter.
아, 그렇군요. Can I have a pint of bitter, please?
Yes.
이렇게.
I tell you, the one bitter taste I don't like.
What?
That's bitter cucumbers.
Cucumbers
Have
aren't bitter.
you never? No, sometimes
What?
some cucumbers can have a slightly bitter
I guess,
taste.
maybe a little bit.
Yes,
Dip it in mayo or something.
I don't eat mayonnaise.
Oh, okay. Of course, eggs. bitter가 원래 이렇게 쓰다는 뜻이에요. 그런데 우리가 날씨에 갑자기 bitter가 나와서
Yeah.
날씨가 어떻게 쓸 수가 있나. 네, 그런 의미가 아니겠죠.
Yeah, I
날씨, 네.
I can't believe that you. I can't believe that you would make fun of me for saying that cucumbers are bitter, Sue.
호
I just
선생님 is just very bitter right
really
now.
bitter about that, Sue.
자, 이렇게 감정이 뭐랄까요? 좀 원망을 가지고 있고 저 사람에 대한 미움이 있고 이럴 때도 저 사람이 비터하다
It's
이렇게
like-
표현을 해요.
Like a combination of anger, jealousy,
Yes.
revenge, and hatred.
Exactly. 자, 그런데 날씨는 그럼 뭘까요? 바로 매섭다라는 뜻이 되겠습니다. 매서운 한파를 얘기하고 있죠. 실제로 전국 대부분 지역에 어젯밤에 한파 특보가 발효됐는데 경기 북부와 강원도는 한파 경보가 또 서울 등 전국 대부분은 한파 주의보가 내려진 상황입니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Cold weather alerts have been issued nationwide as a bitter cold wave is set to sweep the country this week, with wind chills expected to plunge to as low as minus 20 degrees Celsius on Wednesday, according to the Korea Meteorological Administration. Let's move on.
Influenza cases are on the rise again, climbing in the second week of the year after a steady decline since mid-November, with the Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency warning that people infected late last year could still face reinfection depending on the virus strain.
지난해 11월 중순 이후 감소세를 보이던 독감 유행이 올해 2주차를 기점으로 다시 증가세로 돌아선 가운데 질병관리본부는 작년에 A형 독감에 걸렸던 사람이라도 올해 B형 바이러스에 다시 감염될 수 있다며 조심할 것을 당부했습니다. Alright, so the flu's spreading.
Yes, and it's not influenza A, which is what a lot of people had at the
about a
end of
month
last
ago,
year.
yeah,
Yes. What we've got is influenza B. And normally this strain of flu would come towards the end of winter, the start of spring. So
Yeah.
in about 3 weeks or 4 weeks' time. But we're getting it early this year.
Yes.
And so people are concerned, doctors especially, are concerned that flu infections could rise. And we're seeing more children and teenagers infected. The second week of the year saw suspected flu cases taking 1,000 outpatients. 127 of 1,000 outpatients aged between 7 to 12 had it or were suspected of it.
Right.
It was 97 for 13 to 18-year-olds and 51 for 1 to 6-year-olds. So usually it starts with the school-age children and
Yeah.
then it spreads to mums and dads and aunties and uncles and co-workers. So we're going to have to be careful. I think it's mask up time again,
Yeah.
which will also help against the bitter cold. But certainly watch out for influenza B. If you've had influenza A, you can still get infected with this different strain.
Exactly. So as you said, it spreads very easily, especially among children for all sorts of reasons. You know, one, I guess, maybe the immune system is a little weaker than
Yes.
us adults. But another reason, of course, is because of, I guess, hygiene issues. They're not
Sure.
maybe that well aware of what they're doing. Maybe they touch their noses and then they touch their friends or something like that.
It's also close contact. Children are
yes.
often, chasing and running and hugging and pulling and doing all sorts of things as opposed to office workers who sit nicely at
Don't do
their
that.
desk.
Exactly. 자, 그래요. 지금 비염 독감이 유행이 되고 있는 그런 조짐이 보입니다. 보통 비형 독감이라고 하면은요, 늦 겨울에서 봄 사이에 유행을 하거든요. 그래서 이번에 좀 빨리 찾아왔어요. 그런데 보통 이제 독감 한 번 걸리면 그다음 뭐 당분간은 좀 내가 안 걸리겠지 하는 그런 통념과는 달리 작년 말, 그러니까 한 달 전에 혹시 A형 독감에 걸리신 분이더라도 지금 또 다시 B형 독감에 걸릴 수가 있다고 합니다. 굉장히 조심하셔야 될 것 같고요. 이제 올해 2주차, 그러니까 1월 4일부터 10일 사이에 그 주에 독감 의심 환자가 외래 환자, outpatient 기준으로 1000명당 한 40명 정도였는데요. 보통은 유행이다라고 말하려면 1000명당 9명이 넘으면 유행이라고 이제 보기 시작한답니다. 훨씬 넘어섰죠. 자, 그리고 이제 어린아이들, 청소년 사이에서 특히 많이 발생하고 있으니까 주의하시면 되겠습니다. All right, let's have a look at the expression to be on the rise.
If something is on the rise, it is increasing. It's going up and up and up. And we often hear this phrase on the rise with something negative, an increase in something negative like infections. So it's often used as part of a warning to say, be careful, be aware.
Yeah, exactly. 무엇이 증가세에 있다. Something is on the rise. 자, 그리고 if you face reinfection,
Yes, your face is fine because we're not looking at the noun, we're looking at the verb.
Right.
To face something means to confront it, to battle it, to go against it. So if you're facing reinfection, you're trying to stop being reinfected. You're
Yeah.
trying to battle against that.
I'm facing you right now.
Yes.
Not reinfection.
No, hopefully not. I don't think I'm ill right now, but we're all facing reinfection because influenza B is around and about.
Right. To face something. 동사로 쓰는 face는요. 바라보다, 직면하다라는 뜻이 있어요. 자, reinfection은 다시 감염되는 거겠죠. 그래서 다시 감염이 될 수 있다라는 것을 you can face reinfection이라고 표현을 할 수 있습니다. 다시 읽어볼게요. Influenza cases are on the rise again, climbing in the second week of the year after a steady decline since mid-November, with the Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency warning that people infected late last year could still face reinfection depending on the virus strain.
Wildfires sweeping across central and southern Chile have killed at least 18 people, scorched thousands of acres of forest, and destroyed hundreds of homes, according to local authorities.
칠레 중부와 남부에 번진 대형 산불로 지금까지 최소 18명의 사망자와 함께 수천 에이커의 숲이 불타고 수백 채의 주택이 파괴되는 피해가 발생했다고 현지 당국이 전했습니다. Okay, so Chile is in the southern hemisphere, so
Yes.
it's summer right now.
It is. And surrounding countries are also suffering. Argentina, Patagonia in the last few weeks, they've had wildfires as well.
But the difference between summers in Chile and summers in Korea is that we have
Yes.
very humid summers.
Yes.
But Chile's summers are known to be very hot and dry.
Exactly. So it's easy for wildfires to
Yes.
start, and so they have to be very, very careful. And in fact, the president of Chile has declared a state of catastrophe in the Biobío and Ñuble regions, which are about 500 kilometers south of the capital, Santiago.
Right.
Something like 1,000 homes have been affected by this fire. And I think they're on alert because a couple of years ago, in 2024, there were massive fires that really destroyed a lot. They killed 130 people. So they're doing what they can to make sure that this doesn't happen again and to put out these fires as quickly as possible.
네, 현재 여름인 이 남반구 국가 칠레가요. 고온 건조한 날씨에다가 바람까지 불다 보니까 이 산불 피해가 확산하고 있습니다. 특히 지금 얘기했던 비오비오 지역 그리고 뉴블레 지역, 이 산티아고에서 한 500km 남쪽으로 있는 지역인데요. 전체 칠레를 놓고 봤을 때 이게 아주 길쭉한 나라잖아요. 위아래로. 중간에서 살짝 아래 정도에 위치한 지역인데 여기에 산불 피해가 지금 굉장히 큽니다. 비상사태가 선포됐고 대피령이 내려져서 지금 한 2만 명 정도가 안전지대에 머무르고 있다고 해요. Okay, so we have the word to scorch. But you can use it as an adjective as well. Scorching.
Yes. Exactly, or
Right.
something is scorched.
Yeah.
This is different to burned or burnt.
Yeah.
I think the best example I can give is a traditional Korean food, 누룽지. The translation can be scorched rice. We wouldn't say burnt
No,
rice.
it's not 탄.
Yeah, it's not
쌀.
completely
Right.
burnt. So scorched is about the surface of something or the outer layer of something being burned. So in this case, we talked about in the headline we had acres of forest. Now, that
Right.
doesn't mean the forests have disappeared. It just means the outsides of the trees have been damaged, have been burnt. The trees are still standing, but they have been damaged. So scorched is lesser than burnt in terms of damaged, but it
Right,
still
right.
can be very damaging.
자, scorching은 그릴 정도로 뭔가를 뭐 익혔을 때 지금 누룽지 얘기를 하셨지만 우리 스테이크도요. 겉에만 익혔을 때 스코칭 한다고 말할 수 있나요? 아닌가? 아닌가요?
It's not a term we'd use in cooking for steak. There are some dishes which we might scorch, meaning burn the top very quickly, for
Okay,
example.
how about, the meat on Japanese ramen noodles and they have like a a slice of pork on top.
Yes, the char siu.
Yes, that. I think
Yes.
they scorch that.
They do scorch that.
Okay, that's it.
But also, if you're having chobap, sometimes they have the steak chobap,
Okay.
and they will scorch the beef on top. So they don't cook it; they just
Got
put
it.
it under the blowtorch.
So it's not burning,
No.
but it's slightly, putting a bit of fire on it. That's scorching normally.
Yes.
However, when we talk about summer heat or wildfires scorching an area, that is very serious.
It is.
Yeah.
So it can be used as a not very serious term sometimes, but when we're talking about natural disasters, when we're talking about fires, it means an area has been damaged. It hasn't been destroyed, but has been severely damaged.
네, 그래요. 자, 그래서 이렇게 날씨 얘기를 할 때는 거의 뭐 이게 화마가 덮쳤다라는 느낌으로 생각하시면 됩니다. To scorch or to be scorched. Now, what's an acre?
Oh, an acre is a measurement of land that's used still in the UK and the
Yeah.
US for farming. It's 4,047 meters squared,
Okay.
which probably isn't helpful to anybody.
4,000제곱미터.
Yeah.
Roughly.
But there's a reason why it's that amount. Do you know why?
No.
It's because that is the amount that oxen can plough in one day. That one set of oxen,
Really?
they can plough 1 acre in one day, and that's why the measurement is used. Acre is the old word for field. So that used to be, you'd have 1 acre would be 1 field. But we use it now as a measurement of land on farms. You wouldn't talk about your house in terms of acres.
Right,
You'd use
right.
meters squared. But if you own a farm or a ranch, you talk about acres.
How interesting. 자, acre라는 면적 단위 얘기하고 있습니다. 이런 역사가 있는 줄은 몰랐네요. 예전에 농경사회에서 황소가 하루에 경작할 수 있는 면적을
네.
이렇게 재봤더니 대충 한 4,000제곱미터가 됐었대요. 그래서 요거를 acre라고 부르자.
네.
뭐 이랬답니다. 오케이, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Wildfires sweeping across central and southern Chile have killed at least 18 people, scorched thousands of acres of forest, and destroyed hundreds of homes, according to local authorities. Here's our next headline.
The number of billionaires worldwide and their combined wealth surged to record levels in 2025, according to Oxfam, with the top 12 holding more wealth than the poorest half of humanity, or more than 4 billion people.
국제구호개발기구 옥스팜의 보고서에 따르면 전 세계 억만장자 수와 이들의 총 자산이 지난해 역대 최고 수준으로 늘어났으며 이들 중 상위 12명의 자산 합계가 전 세계 하위 50%인 40억 명의 전체 자산보다 많은 것으로 나타났습니다.
Yes, and Oxfam is not celebrating the number of billionaires. It's warning that this could have severe consequences. Coming up just now is the World Economic Forum held every year in Davos. It's where basically the richest of the rich come and meet and talk about what they should do with the world. And Oxfam has warned that there are highly dangerous political consequences of having so many billionaires.
Yep.
Especially when you have the top 12 having more wealth than half of everybody else, the poorest half of humanity. Oxfam also warned that money buys you political power, and we have various billionaires who buy newspapers, other media companies. We're seeing it now in the US with various deals. So Oxfam is just letting people know things are changing. There are more billionaires, but that's not necessarily a good thing for the planet.
Absolutely. 자, 여기서 말하는 super rich, 초부유층이란 10억 달러 이상의 자산을 가진 사람이에요. 자, 여러분, 몇 명 정도가 이 지구상에 이렇게 10억 달러 이상의 자산을 가지고 있을까요? 국제구호개발기구 옥스팜에 따르면 작년에 3,000명을 넘었답니다. 와우. 그래서 이 super rich의 수가 가장 많기도 하고 그 다음에 총 자산도 당연히 지금까지 기록된 것 중에서 가장 또 높은 금액을 작년에 기록을 했는데 상위 12명의 자산 합이 이제 하위 50%인 한 40억 명의 전체 자산보다 많다라는 얘기가 되겠습니다. 자, 그럼 한번 표현해 볼까요? Let's have a look at strongly associated with. Oh, sorry. Not
I
that
think
one.
we'll be looking at holding wealth, Sue. We'll look at strongly associated in a
The
little while.
numbers are boggling me a little bit. Okay, to hold wealth, sorry.
Yes, if we hold wealth, that means we have a lot of money.
Yes.
Because wealth means to have a large amount of money. If we are wealthy, if we have wealth, and to hold something, it was literally to have it.
아, hold wealth가 그러니까 재산을 소유한다는 의미로 쓰는 거네요.
But we wouldn't normally use it in everyday conversation.
No.
I wouldn't say, "Oh, Sue, you never guess what I'm holding. I'm holding a lot of wealth at the moment."
No, this is very newsy.
Yeah. So it's going to be when journalists are talking about financial institutions or talking about billionaires or companies.
그렇죠. 얼마만큼의 부를 보유하고 있는지 얘기하는 다소 이렇게 문어체적인 뉴스 말투예요. 그래서 회화에선 잘 안 쓸 것 같긴 하지만 뉴스에서는 뭐 충분히 있을 수 있는 표현입니다. 그래서 전 세계 억만장자들의 이 총 자산이 우리 돈으로 하자면 한 2경 7천조 원에 달한다고 해요. 18조 3천억 달러인데 they hold a lot of wealth. I don't even know what that looks like. 이경원. Do you have any idea?
I don't think anybody does because it's more money than anyone's ever seen. And it doesn't really exist. It's just a number in a bank vault.
Exactly. All right. What's half of humanity?
Well, here, humanity refers to the population of Earth. And so half of humanity will be half the number of people.
Right.
This is going to get more complicated if Elon Musk manages to go to Mars and humans colonize other planets, because then it won't just be half the people on Earth. Humanity will be half of the people in the galaxy. But
Yeah.
for the moment, we can say it's just half the people living on Earth.
인류라는 단어 humanity가 쓰였지만 사실은 그냥 인간을 말하고 있죠. 그래서 전 세계 인구의 절반, half of humanity. 다시 읽어보겠습니다. The number of billionaires worldwide and their combined wealth surged to record levels in 2025, according to Oxfam, with the top 12 holding more wealth than the poorest half of humanity, or more than 4 billion people. Now let's move on to the final headline.
Researchers in Japan have found that poor oral health in older adults is strongly associated with higher mortality rates and a higher risk of requiring long-term care.
노인에게서 구강 건강 관리가 잘 되지 않을 경우 사망률 및 장기 돌봄 치료를 받게 될 위험이 높아진다는 사실이 일본 연구진에 의해 밝혀졌습니다. Tell us more.
Well, this has been done in Osaka, led by the Osaka Metropolitan University, and it's not about any specific cause of death. It's just mortality in general.
Yeah.
And they found that if you have healthier or treated teeth, you're of a lower risk of dying, just simply at a lower risk. Whereas if you have untreated cavities or if you have no teeth at all, well, then you have a higher risk of dying. And they're saying it may be because of untreated tooth decay that can impair your chewing ability. It can contribute to chronic inflammation. It can affect your overall physical condition. So if you have good teeth, well, you're more likely to be healthier overall. The other thing is, if you have oral frailty, they're saying you need to have 3 of the following symptoms or more. Few remaining teeth or no teeth, difficulty chewing or swallowing, dry mouth, or difficulty speaking. So if you have 3 of those, that means you're more in danger of an earlier death.
Oh my goodness. 자, 한마디로 말하자면은 75세 이상 노인을 상대로 한 연구 결과인데요. 75세 이상일 경우 건강하거나 치료된 치아가 많을수록 사망률이 낮다. 거꾸로 말하면은요. 이런 건강한 치아가 없거나 아예 치아가 없거나 이런 경우면은 사망률이 더 높더라라는 연구 결과가 되겠습니다. 일본 오사카대에서 연구를 한 거고요. 75세 이상 노인 19만 명을 대상으로 연구를 진행했다고 하니까 꽤나 그 sample 사이즈가 커요. 190,000 people. 그래서 이 치아 상태와 사망률의 연관성, correlation이 있나 이거를 확인해 본 거죠. 그랬더니 건강한 치아의 수가 많을수록 사망률은 감소하는 경향을 보였고 또 반대로 완전히 다른 엑스트림으로 갔을 때 치아가 전혀 없는 경우 사망률이 가장 높은 것으로 드러났다고 합니다. 그 중간에도 다 여러 다른 분석이 있었지만요. So if we flip this around, I guess that means in order to live a longer, healthier life, take care of your teeth.
It's not just that, though, Sue.
Yeah?
I think taking care of your teeth is a good sign that you're taking care of everything else at the same time.
That's true. 맞아요. 왜냐면은 이 치아 상실이나 아니면 충치 이런 것들은 단순히 그냥 입 안에 있는 건강 문제가 아니라 뭐 만성 염증이 있다는 것을 보여줄 수도 있고 영양 불균형이 있다라는 걸 보여줄 수 있어서 몸 전반의 건강을 이 치아를 통해서 보여준다고도 해석할 수 있답니다.
Yeah, so I think the best advice is to look after your teeth, but
Yeah.
look after everything else as well.
Absolutely. Okay, now let's look at this expression, to be
Yes.
strongly associated with something.
Okay, if you're associated with something, there is a link of some kind. There's a connection. And if it's a strong association, if you are strongly associated, well, it's a big one. It's an
Right.
important one, a key one, perhaps. So here we're looking at poor oral health is strongly associated with higher death rates.
Yeah.
So there's a big link. There's a strong link there.
Associated with something, 연관이 돼 있다. But strongly associated with something, 그러면은 아주 강하게 연결돼 있다. 그러니까 그 연결되는 어떤 이제 증상이라든지 이런 양상들이 아주 명백하게 보일 때 쓰는 표현이겠죠? And what about long-term care?
Care here, we're talking about going to a nursing home or a hospital, being looked after. And long term is not just for a day, a week, or a month.
Right,
it's maybe
right.
for half a year or a year. It's a long period of time.
그렇죠. 자, 장기 요양, 장기 돌봄을 long-term care라고 합니다. You know, as adults, we have 28 teeth.
Yes.
And if you have 사랑니, 4.
Wisdom teeth.
Some people, I was going to ask you, Chad, because if you have, the 4 wisdom teeth, then altogether you're going to have 32. But it's interesting because in English, as you just said, it's called wisdom teeth.
Yes.
In Korea, we say 사랑니. 영국에서, 미국도 마찬가지죠. 지혜니 뭐 이렇게 부르는 거나 마찬가지고.
I don't think they've got anything to do with love or wisdom.
우리는 이제 love teeth라고 부르는 거나 마찬가지인데 이런 문화 차이도 재밌는 것 같아요.
맞아요.
자, 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. Researchers in Japan have found that poor oral health in older adults is strongly associated with higher mortality rates and a higher risk of requiring long-term care. All right, well, that's it for the headlines this morning with Paul Matthews.
More than 8 in 10 foreigners hold a favorable view of Korea, according to a survey by the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism, with cultural content cited as the biggest factor driving positive perceptions of the country.
문화체육관광부가 발표한 2025년도 대한민국 국가이미지 조사에 따르면 외국인 10명 중 8명 이상이 한국에 호감을 가진 것으로 나타난 가운데 호감도에 긍정적인 영향을 미친 요인으로는 문화 콘텐츠가 가장 많이 지목됐습니다.
Yep.
So we're talking about K-pop, K-movies, and
K-food,
all of that shabam. Yeah, tell us more.
K-history, K-books, So this is according to a 2025 government survey that asked about 13,000 people in 26 different countries. It was done by the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism. And it said that 82.3% of respondents had positive views, up 3.3 points from last year.
Right.
And it was the highest since the survey began back in 2018. Favorability was highest in the UAE.
Right.
It reached 94.8% in that country.
Wow.
It was followed by Egypt at 94% and the Philippines at 91.4%, with sharp gains also seen in Thailand and the UK. Cultural content was the top driver, as we mentioned, of these positive perceptions held by people in different countries, and it was cited by 45.2% of respondents.
Wow.
And I remember being very surprised when I went to the UAE for my honeymoon. It was a stopover.
So this must have been many years ago.
It was in 2008.
Okay.
And I turned the TV on, and a Korean drama was,
Korea was
on TV.
already popular back then.
Yeah, so I do remember hearing that there's some sort of similarity. The people there connected to the way that families work, the family and the culture, the way family members interact with each other in Korean dramas, especially in the period dramas. Yeah, so I don't remember which drama it was, but it was a period drama and it was on TV. And I remember being very surprised.
Yeah, I mean, we've had things like 대장금 and 태조왕건 and all these period dramas.
Yeah.
이게 사극이에요, period drama. But I didn't know it was so popular in the UAE.
Yeah.
와, 그래요. 자, 문체부가 어제 발표한 2025년도 대한민국 국가 이미지 조사 결과입니다. 총 13,000명 정도를 대상으로 한 온라인 서베이였고요. 이게 작년 10월 한 달 동안 온라인으로 진행이 됐는데, 이제 16세 이상, 다양한 국적의 사람들을 대상으로 서베이를 했더니, 이렇게 UAE에서 우리나라에 대한 호감도가 90% 이상으로 제일 높았고요. 그 다음에 이집트, 그 다음에 필리핀 이런 순이었습니다. 특히 우리나라의 그 문화 컨텐츠 그게 제일 좋다 이렇게 대답을 했고 저는 이제 놀랍지 않았던 것은 주로 한국을 어떻게 접촉하느냐 한국 컨텐츠를 근데 역시 동영상 플랫폼
Yes.
그러니까 뭐 유튜브나 넷플릭스 같은 것들을 가장 많이 활용하면서 한국 콘텐츠 접한다라고 한 것은 크게 놀랍지 않았는데요. 저는 이것도 흥미롭더라고요. 한국에 어떤 정치 경제에 대한 문항이 있었어요. 그래서 거기 보니까 외국 분들이 한국의 민주주의 회복 탄력성에 대한 또 긍정적인 평가를 내렸다. 이런 부분도 흥미로웠습니다.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look at favorable.
Favorable. So it means to express approval or when something is positive or pleasing, we say that it is favorable.
favorable 그러면은 호의적이다. A favorable view, 호의적인 시각. 한국을 좋게 보는 거. What about perception?
Perception, it's the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something through the senses.
한국에 대한 인식이겠네요. The perception of Korea. 한국에 대한 그런 이제 생각, 견해, 인식. 자, 다시 읽어보겠습니다. More than 8 in 10 foreigners had a favorable view of Korea, according to a survey by the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism, with cultural content cited as the biggest factor driving positive perceptions of the country. Moving on, this is headline number 2.
The International Monetary Fund has edged up its 2026 global growth forecast to 3.3%, citing improved adjustment by businesses and economies to U.S. tariffs and a continued AI investment boom.
국제통화기금 IMF가 올해 세계 경제 성장률을 3.3%로 소폭 상향 조정하면서 기업 및 경제의 미국 관세 대응력이 높아지고 인공지능 AI 투자 붐이 지속되는 점을 이유로 제시했습니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, so the IMF, it has raised the 2026 global growth forecast to 3.3%. That's up 0.2 points from October. And they are saying that the eased U.S. tariffs and a continued boom in AI investment was the reason that they decided to up the growth forecast by a slight bit.
Yeah, 0.2 percentage points.
0.2%, yeah. Percentage points, yeah. And it also expects 3.3% growth in 2025, saying the global economy has proven resilient as businesses reroute supply chains and trade tensions ease. U.S. growth for 2026 was revised up to 2.4%, while China is seen growing 4.5% as exports shift to other markets. The IMF warned that AI could fuel inflation or market corrections if expectations fall short, but it did say that it could also lift global growth by up to 0.3 percentage points in 2026 if productivity gains materialize.
AI isn't just a part of our lives, it's shaping the global economy.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And it's still a bit of, it's kind of up in the air. We
It
don't
is.
know. We don't quite know how it's going to do, how it's going to shape out. So we're going to have to keep an eye out on it.
자, IMF가요, 올해 2026년 세계 경제 성장률 전망치를 두 단어를 합쳐버렸네요. 예, 경제 성장률 전망치를 3.3%로 소폭 상향 조정해서 이번에 발표했습니다. 지난 10월에는 지금보다 0.2%포인트 낮게 봤었어요. 3.1%로 봤나 봐요. 근데 이번에는 3.3%로 내다보고 있다. 왜 그러느냐? 특히 이제 그 AI 같은 기술 투자 확대가 여러 가지 불확실성을 상쇄할 것으로 이렇게 평가하고 있답니다. Alright, so let's have a look at some expressions. To edge up.
Edge up. So this means to kind of inch up or increase slightly, or to move or increase slowly and gradually, often incrementally by steps, or either physically, like when you are edging up to a light, or metaphorically, like prices edging up.
Yeah, edging up. It's going up, but it's just going up little by little.
Yeah.
조금씩 올라갈 때는 edge up라는 표현을 쓸 수 있습니다. Now, what about a boom?
A boom. So it's a period of great prosperity or rapid economic growth.
자, 우리도 그냥 붐이라고 하기도 하는데요. 뭐 경기 호황이라든지 무언가 아주 크게 성장할 때 붐이라고 하죠. 그래서 베이비 붐.
Yes.
바로 이제 아기가 굉장히 많이 태어났던 전쟁 후에 그 시절을 얘기하기도 하는데 이렇게 붐. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. The International Monetary Fund, or the IMF, has edged up its 2026 global growth forecast to 3.3%. Citing improved adjustment by businesses and economies to US tariffs and a continued AI investment boom.
Korean-style roasted sweet potatoes have become a popular, cost-effective lunch choice among office workers in New York City who are increasingly feeling the strain of rising lunch prices.
높은 외식비로 인해 점심 식사 해결이 고민이 된 미국 뉴욕의 직장인들 사이에서 한국식 군고구마가 저렴하면서도 맛있는 점심 메뉴로 인기를 끌고 있습니다. 오.
And why not?
Yeah. I feel like in the next couple of years, 군고구마 is going to enter the English dictionary too.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Yeah, so it's a classic Korean winter snack. And I guess if you just have it boiled or cooked, it could be a good way to lose a few kilos
Yeah.
as well, along
Well,
with some
steamed.
steamed chicken breast. But it's becoming a popular lunch substitute for office workers in New York, which is it's not a very cheap place to live. Dining costs are climbing, and they say that workers in Midtown Manhattan and Koreatown are buying plain roasted sweet potatoes from street vendors and shops as an affordable, filling lunch option. And while a fast food meal averages about $15 and a salad bowl costs about $20, that would be really expensive
3만 원.
in terms of Korean won. Yeah.
Wow.
Because of the exchange rate these days. Roasted sweet potatoes, they just cost about $3 to $5 each, especially because, they can be sold at vendors. Some shops sell them for about $7.99 per pound.
Okay.
That's really...
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's really not bad. And Korean supermarkets offer two for around $6 to $7. So it's a really good deal compared to what the other options that they have. So it's becoming really popular. They say that some places, like some vendors, they sell out during lunchtime. And this trend has been amplified by, of course, social media.
Yes.
With foodies or food influencers, trying it and then saying that, it's like marshmallow. It's so sweet.
Wow.
So they say that one video of sweet potatoes eaten with cheese sticks, it drew around 10 million views. So that's why it's becoming really popular. We already know this as a very, it's always...
Common snack.
It's a common snack, although I feel like we don't see it as much outside on the streets as much anymore. Maybe it will make a comeback as it's becoming very popular abroad. I feel like, something that's kind of fading in Korea,
Yep.
it becomes huge abroad and then it kind of makes a comeback. So we will see. But they say that the sweet potatoes are rich in beta carotene, vitamin C, and potassium. So it's really good for you, and they can even double as a hand warmer during the winter time.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
Because of this story, I was motivated
I just
to
had some.
bring some
Yes.
sweet potatoes this morning to
Yeah.
share with our team. But yeah, it's a new craze in New York.
It's delicious.
네, 뉴욕에서 평균 식사 비용이요. 패스트푸드 세트 기준으로는 한 2만 원. 그다음에 뭐 샐러드 많이 먹잖아요. 건강 생각해서 3만 원. 이렇대요.
expensive.
너무 비싸다 보니까
Yeah.
차라리 한 3달러에서 5달러 사이에 이제 한국식 군고구마로 점심 끼니를 때우는 그런 뉴요커들이 많이 늘고 있다는 소식입니다.
Yeah, so just pack a maybe a sandwich or maybe
Yeah.
like a chicken breast from home, and then
Have something to drink.
yeah, buy a little sweet potato, and there's your lunch.
There you go. All right, let's talk about something that's cost effective.
Cost effective. So the sweet potato is a cost effective option, and that means that it is effective or productive in relation to its cost.
cost effective라는 거는요, 이제 가성비가 좋다라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 고구마 얘기를 하고 있는 거죠.
Yep.
And if people feel the strain of something,
Yeah, if you feel the strain, that means that they're experiencing a bit of mental, maybe emotional or physical pressure or stress or worry from a difficult situation. It could be an excessive demand or heavy burden. So it indicates that you're struggling to cope or that something is being pushed to its limit.
yes, feel the strain of something, 무언가의 부담을 느끼다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Korean-style roasted sweet potatoes have become a popular, cost-effective lunch choice among office workers in New York City, who are increasingly feeling the strain of rising lunch prices. Let's move on to the next headline.
A purple star sapphire weighing more than 3,500 carats, believed to be the world's largest of its kind, has been unveiled in Sri Lanka with its value estimated at no less than $300 million.
3,500캐럿이 넘어 세계에서 가장 큰 것으로 추정되는 보라색 스타 사파이어가 스리랑카에서 대중에 공개됐습니다. 이 보석의 가치는 최소 3억 달러, 우리 돈으로 약 4,420억 원으로 평가됩니다. Right, this is a big stone.
Yes.
Tell us more.
Yeah, I don't know. 3,500 carats. It's huge.
Yeah.
So you think normally sapphires are blue, but they come in all sorts of different colors. This one is purple, and it's been named the Star of Pure Land, and it's round and it shows a rare, well-defined six-ray star pattern. That's why it's so valuable.
Yeah.
And it's rare, and the owners, they are remaining anonymous for security reasons. Of
course.
Said the stone was found in a gem pit, and it was near Ratnapura, and it's known as the City of Gems back in
Yes.
2023. And it was initially bought with other stones, and it was later identified as exceptional and then certified by 2 laboratories, and it's expected to fetch at least 300 million, but maybe 300 to 400 million dollars.
Exactly. 세계에서 가장 큰 천연 보라색 스타 세파이어가 공개됐습니다. 이름이 있어요. Star of Pure Land. 우리말로 하면은 정토의 별 이렇게 번역이 되고 있는데 이 사파이어의 무게가 무려 3,563캐럿입니다. 우리가 보통 다이아몬드 얘기할 때도 캐럿 얘기 많이 하지만
Yep.
이 다이아몬드, 루비, 세파이어, 에메랄드 같은 것들은 다 무게를 캐럿으로 재요. C-A-R-A-T, carrots인데요. 지금 요거는 이제 무려 3,500캐럿이 넘는 어마어마하게 크고 또 굉장히 귀중한 보석입니다. 우리가 사실 뭐 다이아반지 얘기할 때도 1캐럿만 돼도 굉장히
It's
비싸거든요.
big,
뭐 크기도 하고
Yeah.
비싸고.
Yeah.
그래서 뭐 헐리우드 연예인들 보면은 뭐 2캐럿, 3캐럿 뭐 이렇게 조금 더 크지만 보통 사람들은 사실 우리가 뭐 5부, 3부 이렇게 해서 0.5캐럿,
Yes, half carat,
0.3캐럿
yeah.
이렇게 보통은 많이 산단 말이에요.
Yeah.
근데 지금 3,500캐럿이 가격이 네, 역시 비싸네요. 지금 아직 팔리진 않았는데 소유주가 팔 거다. 판매 의사를 밝혔어요. 그래서 지금 전문가들이 봤을 때는 최소 3억 달러, 많게는 4억 달러까지도 팔리겠다. 우리 돈으로 하면은 4천억 원에서 한 6천억 원 사이에 팔릴 것으로 이렇게 예상이 되고 있는 거고요.
Yeah.
실제로 발견된 거는 2023년이었어요. 그리고 나서 가지고 있다가 이번에 처음으로 대중에 공개가 된 겁니다.
Yeah. And what makes it special is not just that it's a big heavy stone, but because after they, after polishing it, they found that star pattern in it.
Yeah, that's very unique as well, isn't
Yeah.
it? One other thing I wanted to talk about was the word carat. Now, we just said that precious stones, gemstones, are weighed in C-A-R-A-T, carats. There's a different carat, spelt K-A-R-A-T,
Yes.
for gold.
Yes.
우리가 금 얘기할 때 뭐 14K, 18K 이렇게 하잖아요. 그때 그 K도 발음은 carat인데요.
Carat, yes.
다른 캐럿이에요.
Yeah.
K-A-R-A-T라고 해서 그때는 이제 순금의 퍼센티지를 얘기하고 있습니다. 그래서 100% 순금은 24K. 그다음에 우리가 보통 14K를 많이 쓰잖아요. 이거는 한 59% 정도의 순도를 가지고 있는 금이고요. 그다음에 18K는 75% 이런 정도입니다.
Yep.
Alright, so just a little tidbit on the side.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, this is a very big, precious, rare stone, a sapphire.
Yes.
Tell us about the expression to be believed to be something.
Yeah, believed to be something, right? When something is believed to be something, it's thought to be something or supposed to be true or a certain way.
Yeah.
But it's when you use this when you don't have absolute proof. So it indicates an assumption or common opinion rather than a confirmed fact. So it's often used in news or formal writing
Right.
to present a widely held idea gently. For example, like the artifact is believed to be hidden somewhere. So you know it's there, but you don't have absolute proof. So it's
Yeah.
often used in news.
Especially with, archaeological stories.
Yeah.
We often say, this new discovery is believed to be the oldest one discovered. But we don't know if someone else has an older one and they just haven't, publicly announced it.
That's why, that you use this when we say it's believed to be the largest of its kind, but
Yeah.
we're not 100%
There could be
sure.
someone
Yeah.
who's just, not digitally linked.
They might
so
have it at
They might have a
home.
really
Yeah.
big sapphire.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
But anyhow, in the news, we use this expression a lot.
As far as we know.
그렇죠. 이렇게 여겨진다. 우리가 아는 바로는 그렇다. 이런 뜻으로 believe to be something. 자, 다음으로 no less than.
Yeah, no less than. So this, it's similar to at least, but it's typically used idiomatically to emphasize that a number or amount is surprisingly large or significant, implying it's even better or
Yeah.
more substantial than expected.
그렇죠. 자, no less than $300 million는 최소 3억 달러 정도에는 팔릴 것이다. 그래서 최소 적어도 이럴 것이다 라는 표현입니다. No less than. It pretty much just means at least. 다시 읽어볼게요. A purple star sapphire weighing more than 3,500 carats, believed to be the world's largest of its kind, has been unveiled in Sri Lanka, with its value estimated at no less than $300 million. Now let's move on to the final headline.
A British inventor has created the world's fastest wheelie bin, according to Guinness World Records, a motorized trash can dubbed the General Waste that can reach speeds of more than 88 kilometers per hour.
영국의 한 발명가가 세계에서 가장 빠른 바퀴 달린 쓰레기통을 만든 것으로 기네스 세계 기록에 올랐습니다. The General Waste라 이름 붙여진 이 쓰레기통은 엔진이 부착돼 시속 88km 이상의 속도를 낼 수 있다고 합니다.
Yep.
And I have a little prop.
Yep.
Now, if you are checking us on 보이는 라디오, please have a look. 자, 제가 오늘 뭘 준비해 왔습니다. 보이시나요? I just happen to have a wheelie bin, like a miniature one.
How, I wonder.
그냥 이거 예전부터 제가 가지고 있던 이 작은 쓰레기통인데 여기 잘 보시면 바퀴가 있어요.
Yeah.
이 바퀴 달린 쓰레기통을 wheelie-bin이라고 하고 굉장히 크거든요. 실제로는 여기에 어마어마한 양의 쓰레기통을 넣고 전원주택 같은 곳 앞에다가 세워놓으면 이제 쓰레기 트럭이 일주일에 한 번씩 와서 요거를 다 비워가요.
And they, they empty it out.
그래요, 그래요. 자, 그런데 제가 요 안에다가 지금 카피바라 인형을 하나 넣어놨는데, 실제로 조금 이 주인공 이름이 뭐죠? 마이클 뭐였죠? What's his name again?
Wallhead.
월헤드. 마이클 월헤드라는 이 남성이 지금 이 인형처럼 쓰레기통 안에 들어가서 그 다음에 그냥 그 전력 질주를 하면서 기록을 세운 겁니다.
It's his car. Yeah, his little
이렇게.
car. Right.
그래서 이런 윌리밴에다가 오토바이 모터를 달고요.
Yes.
그다음에 자전거 시트 같은 것을 그 안에다 부착해서 그걸 타고 그다음에 이제 움직인 거예요. 뭐 움직인 게 아니죠. 엄청나게 이제
He
달린
drives
거죠.
it. Yeah, yeah. So
tell us more.
when you add these little like the engine, when you add like a spoiler, when you add little things to your car, we say you soup it up.
You soup it up.
You soup it up, yeah.
개조하는 거를
Yes.
You soup it up.
Yeah, so-
soup. 우리 먹는 숲처럼.
Yes, it's spelled
오.
exactly like
Okay.
that. So it's his souped up trash can.
Because he's an inventor.
Exactly.
발명가잖아요.
Yes.
원래 이런 거 하는 거 좋아해요.
Right.
네.
So his souped up trash can, it's nicknamed the General Waste. And they say that it can now run up to 129 kilometers per hour. And it's set a Guinness World Record at 88 kilometers per hour back in 2023.
우리 청취자분들이 근데 왜 쓰레기통에다가 엔진을 부착하나요? 라고 했는데 이게 기네스 기록이 있으니까.
He wanted to break that record.
네.
Yes.
지금 이 마이클 월헤드가 기록을 지금 세우기 전에 종전에 기록이 하나 더 있었어요.
Yes.
그 기록을 깨기 위해서 본인이 또 새로 개조한 겁니다.
Yeah, that record, so the previous record, it was set by Andy Jennings back in 2020. It was the first ever record. And his wheelie bin, I don't know what to call it. Wheelie bin car? Wheelie bin
It's just, yeah.
racer? I don't know.
The general waste.
Yes. The record was 72 kilometers per hour. That was set in 2020. And that prompted him to think, hey,
맞아요.
maybe I can beat that record.
Exactly.
Yeah.
정전 기록은 시속 70km 정도였거든요.
That's
그래서 그 소식을
fast.
듣고
Yeah.
이제 영국 발명가 마이클 월헤드가 나 저거 깨고 싶다 해서 만든 거예요. 그래서 실제로 이제 최고 공식 기록은 55 miles per hour, 시속 88km인데요. 이제 본인 말로는 이론상 이게 시속 127km, 79 miles per hour까지 갈 수도 있다.
Yep.
이렇게 얘기를 하고 있어서 기네스 측에서 기대됩니다.
Yeah.
다음에 한번 요
Yeah.
기록을
You should test it out.
기록을 세우면 그 기록을 한번 공식적으로 저희한테 보여주면 또 그때 다시 본인의 기록을 깰 수도 있겠죠.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny because he actually bought the trash can for only about $25.
Sure,
But
sure.
it cost him about $900 to make the upgrades, to soup it up.
Yeah. And I guess he got some kind of prize for breaking this record. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was worth it.
Well, he was in the news.
Oh, yes, that's true
Yeah,
as
and
well.
he's being featured on Morning Special.
네. 자, 이 쓰레기통에다가 이름까지 지었다고 했잖아요. 그래서 제가 지금 가져온 요 장난감 쓰레기통은 초록색이지만 실제 사용된 쓰레기통은 아주 밝은 오렌지색이에요. 예전에 1980년대에 TV 쇼 중에 The Dukes of Hazzard라는 프로그램이 있었대요.
Yeah.
거기에 히어로 카가 이 밝은 오렌지색이었고 이름이 The General Lee였답니다. 그래서 거기에서 아이디어를 얻어서 The General Waste라는 이름을 이렇게 붙였다고 해요. 자, 대단하네요. So wheelie bin.
Yes.
If you break it down, it's like a bin that has wheels.
Wheels, yeah. A trash can with wheels. In the U.S.,
what do you call
it's
it?
called a mobile garbage bin or a rollout cart.
A rollout cart.
Yeah, I've seen them, but I've never used them because I never lived in a house. So
아파트에 살면 필요
yeah,
없어요.
we didn't need it. Yeah, but it's basically a large lidded. It has a lid and it has
맞아요.
wheels and it's a
네네.
container and it's used to. Yeah, you would put your household or commercial waste in it.
Exactly. 자, 이렇게 바퀴가 달린 쓰레기통을 영국에서는 wheelie bin이라고 하고요. 미국에서는 a rollout
Cart.
cart
Yeah.
or
A trash cart.
trash cart 이렇게 부르는군요.
Yeah.
자, 그다음에 motorized.
Motorized. So it means that it's equipped with a motor or powered by a motor.
그래요. motorized는 엔진이 달린이라는 뜻이 되겠습니다. 자, 그러면 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. 참고로 또 general waste가 이중적인 다른 의미가 있죠. 일반 쓰레기.
Yes.
이런 뜻도 있죠. 자, 다시 읽어보겠습니다. A British inventor has created the world's fastest wheelie bin, according to Guinness World Records, a motorized trash can dubbed the General Waste that can reach speeds of more than 88 kilometers per hour. Right, that's it for the headlines with Karen Troy.
Korea's exports expanded 15% from a year earlier in the first 20 days of this month, driven by strong demand for semiconductors, according to the Korea Customs Service, with outbound shipments to China soaring past 30% year on year.
관세청에 따르면 이달 1일부터 20일까지 수출액이 강력한 반도체 수요에 힘입어 작년보다 15% 증가했으며 대중국 수출은 전년 대비 30% 넘게 늘어난 것으로 집계됐습니다. Alright, let's talk about exports then.
Exports that have been doing very well so far this year. Outbound shipments reached 36.36 billion US dollars for the first 20 days of this year. That's compared with 31.63 billion over the same period last year, according to Korea Customs Service. So, Korea's economy is very much driven on exports, and we're off to a great start in the first 3 weeks of the year.
Yeah, and of course semiconductors
Yes.
leading the way.
Absolutely. And also, a lot of the exports to China right now are 30% higher than last year. So showing that,
Yeah.
China's always been our top trade partner, and they've been, once again, driven very strong.
Yeah, absolutely. 그래요. 이번 달 1월 1일부터 20일 사이에 우리나라의 수출액이요. 364억 달러를 기록했는데 이게 역대 최대 기록이라고 합니다. 특히 이제 반도체 수출이 아무래도 이 모든 그 수출을 좀 이끌었다라고 볼 수 있겠죠. 비중으로 봤을 때는 한 30% 정도를 차지하는데요. 급증한 이 반도체 수출이기 때문에 이 364억 달러 중에서 상당히 큰 부분을 차지했다고 볼 수도 있을 것 같고, 그 다음에는 이제 주요 수출 대상국은 말씀해 주신 것처럼 이제 중국이 거기 포함되어 있는데 중국 말고도 미국, 중국, 베트남 요로의 수출이 다 증가했습니다.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of a surprise is that exports to the U.S. have actually jumped 20%, well, 19.3% compared to last year because a lot of people were concerned with the tariffs that the U.S. has imposed, that might actually bring exports down. But I mean, we've actually seen almost a 20% rise compared to the year before. So great to see that we're still heading in the right direction.
All right, let's have a look at there's a strong demand for semiconductors.
When you demand something, you want something done in an aggressive way. Like you really, really want this to be done. So now when you say a strong demand, then, it's even pushing that to a stronger level.
Right.
We talk also about
supply and demand. So supply meaning how much of something you have, demand being how much somebody wants something, and the balance of that. So if you have strong demand, then prices might go up on something. If you have a strong supply with less demand, then prices might go down.
Exactly.
So we talk a lot about supply and demand when it comes to economy and things like that.
Exactly. 우리는 이제 수요와 공급이라고 하는데요. 수요가 demand고 공급이 supply잖아요. So in Korean, we say it the other way around.
Oh, that's interesting.
수요와 공급. We always say it like that. Never 공급. Well, you could say 공급과 수요, but normally we say 수요와 공급. And in English, you could say demand and supply, but normally you
Yeah.
would say supply and demand.
It would sound awkward.
So yeah, it's just interesting how the order is different, but we know the meaning. 수요는 demand, 공급은 supply가 되겠죠. Strong demand for something 그러면은 무엇에 대한 강한 수요, 많은 수요. And if you soar past something,
When I think of the word soar, I think of something going higher or faster
Yeah.
beyond something. So, the thing that I hear most often with soar is like an eagle
Yeah.
soars. So, because it flies a lot higher than the other birds. But you're also thinking of like speed or going beyond something as well. So, it says China soaring past 30% in terms of shipments to China. So, it's going beyond this and it's kind of like going zoom, see you later. Like I'm past you sort of thing. So you're kind of passing something really quickly.
how do you spell soar?
Soar is SOAR and then ING in this case, which is different from SORE, like a sore on your arm or yeah, like my body is sore today because I worked out yesterday. Different spelling, different meaning.
그러네요. SORE는 어디가 살짝 아플 때, 뻐근할 때 많이 씁니다. 그래가지고 지금 몸이 어제 운동을 많이 해가지고 좀 뻐근해요 라고 한다면 My body's sore from exercising yesterday. 그 외에도 sore가 또
Sometimes
어떤데?
if you're tired, people have a cold sore, like the
맞아요,
I don't know what
맞아요.
you call that in Korean.
그 coldsore가 밖에 있는 입술 밖에 있는
Yeah, it's
거죠.
usually just on the side of your mouth. You
뭐라고
get
부르지?
something when you're really tired.
네, 입술에 뭐 이런 게 뭐 낫기도 하잖아요. 우리 굉장히 피곤하면은 그거를 cold sore라고 합니다.
It's like a bump and it'll kind of crack.
Yeah. I forget the name in Korean. Help me out.
Somebody
please.
will get it.
Yes. I get this sometimes. I have cold sores every now and then. And yet I, for some reason, can't remember the word right now. All right. But nonetheless, 이제 훌쩍 뛰어넘다라고 할 때는 SOAR, to soar past something. 다시 읽어보겠습니다. Korea's exports expanded 15% from a year earlier in the first 20 days of this month, driven by strong demand for semiconductors, according to the Korea Customs Service, with outbound shipments to China soaring past 30% year on year. Let's move on to the second headline.
The UN has warned that the world has entered an era of global water bankruptcy, urging immediate action to curb the overuse and pollution of this essential resource.
유엔은 세계가 글로벌 물 파산 상태에 진입했다고 경고하면서 물 남용과 오염을 억제할 즉각적인 조치를 취할 것을 촉구했습니다. Water bankruptcy?
Yeah, it sounds a pretty extreme way
Yeah.
of putting it, but obviously the UN is very concerned of this. The report showed that 75% of people lived in countries classified as water insecure or critically water insecure. 2 billion people lived on ground that is sinking as groundwater aquifers collapse. So water is going down in a lot of these populated nations. I think what you can see that is probably talking about countries like China, India, Pakistan, those sort of areas when you're talking about populations this large.
자, 우리가 이제 파산하면은 보통 돈 생각을 많이 하지만 bankruptcy라는 단어 앞에 water가 붙어서 물 부족을 넘어서서 이제 하나도 없게 되는 이런 상황. water bankruptcy라는 표현이 유엔 대학교 물환경보건연구소에서 사용이 됐습니다. 그래서 전 세계 수십억 명이 이런 water bankruptcy 상황에 직면했다. And the reasons would be water pollution, too much usage of underwater I guess, pumping water from the ground, I should say, 뭐 지하수를 너무 많이 사용한다든지 수질 오염 이런 것들로 인해서 물 파산 상태에 직면했다고 합니다. 그래서 전 세계 인구의 4분의 3이나 물 불안정, 아까 그게 water insufficiency라고 했나?
Insufficiency. Yeah.
그 다음에 심각한 물 불안정, critically
Or insecure. Water insecure.
insecurity였군요. critically water insecure인가요? 네, 이렇게 또 분류가 됐다고 합니다. 그래서 지금 제일 필요한 것은 현실을 우리가 인정하고 관리 방식, 물 관리 방식을 바꿔야 한다라고 이 보고서가 지적하고 있네요. Let's have a look at urging immediate action.
When you're urging someone or something, then you're pleading with them. And you think of the word urgent.
Yeah.
This is really important, really right now, like immediately. Not, we can't wait. Please, we need something here. And of course, immediate is like now, something we can't wait. And action is just something that you do. So we need to do something about this right now. We can't wait. This is very important in the immediate future.
I urge you to do something. 이렇게 할 것을 당부합니다. 촉구합니다. Immediate action. 즉각적인 조치를 취할 것을 촉구한다. And essential resource.
Essential is something that is needed or necessary, and resources are things that we use, like water or minerals or trees, and things that we use to either consume or to use for other purposes.
Right.
But there's stuff that we need in our way of life. So essential resources, something like water, we have to have water to live.
Sure.
So it's something that's obviously very important.
So the things you need every day, you actually call daily essentials.
Yes.
What's a daily essential?
Certainly water, food.
Yes, exactly.
A roof over your head, hopefully, or transportation.
그러네요. 필수품을 우리가 daily essentials라고 해서 essential을 명사로 쓰기도 하는데 자, 여기서 essential resource의 essential은 형용사가 되겠죠. 아주 필수적인 resource, or resource 발음 다 됩니다. 자원. 다시 읽어볼게요. The UN has warned that the world has entered an era of global water bankruptcy, urging immediate action to curb the overuse and pollution of this essential resource.
China's electricity consumption last year surpassed 10 trillion kilowatt hours for the first time, more than twice that of the US, and exceeding the combined usage of the European Union, Russia, India, and Japan.
Again, of course, we are live. 자, 중국의 지난해 전력 사용량이 처음으로 10조 킬로와트시를 넘겼습니다. 이는 미국의 2배 이상이며 유럽연합과 러시아, 인도, 일본 4곳의 전력 사용량을 합한 것보다도 많은 수치입니다. Wow, China used a lot of electricity last year.
10 trillion kilowatt hours. That's up
Wow.
5% from the year before. And this is the first time that a single country has exceeded 10 trillion kilowatt hours.
But what's even more shocking is it says in the headline there, it's more than double the entire electricity usage of the US.
Yeah.
And it's even more than the electricity usage of the EU, Russia, India, and Japan combined.
Yeah, I mean, when you
Wow.
consider the population of China and the fact that their economy is growing so quickly, you think of how much electricity is being used by technology these days with more cars, more electric vehicles,
Yeah.
more computers, electronics, and things like that. As the country modernizes, I guess we can expect that to a certain degree, but it's also a question of can they create enough electricity to keep up with their growing consumption.
네. 그래서 무엇 때문에 이렇게 전력 사용량이 많았느냐. 증가를 이끈 분야로 보게 되면은요. 배터리 충전 서비스업 거기서 상당히 많은 전력을 썼다고 하고 또 정보 전송, 소프트웨어, IT 서비스업 이쪽에서도 전력을 상당히 많이 써서 중국의 작년 전력 사용량이 10조 킬로와트시가 넘었습니다.
You know, another thing that I know that China is famous for is things like Bitcoin mining. And one of the things about Bitcoin mining is it actually consumes a lot of electricity,
I'll
which
bet.
which is the reason like people don't do it is because you end up spending more money on electricity than the Bitcoin that you actually mine. So, you know, it's a very electricity intensive process. And I know there are a lot of Bitcoin mines in China where it's just large warehouses of computer hardware that's just doing this. So.
Exactly. Well, we're talking about electricity consumption. What is consumption?
Consumption is just when you use something, any sort of a resource. It could even be like food, right?
Yeah.
Like we consume food, we eat it, we use it to create energy for ourselves. So when you're using something, usually to create something else, then you're consuming something.
그렇죠. 음식 섭취라는 의미가 될 수도 있는데 일반적으로는 소비 그리고 사용량 이걸 consumption이라고 하죠. What about more than twice that of something?
When we use the word twice, then you're doubling something or timesing it by 2, multiplying it by 2. So if you have 10 of something, well, if you twice it or double it, then you have 20. So it's more than twice that of the US, so it's more than 2 times.
More than 2 times what the US used or what the US consumed. 이거랑 같은 뜻인데요. 문장 구조가 more than twice that of the US. 그래서 that of는 electricity consumption을 얘기하고 있는 겁니다. 미국의 전력 사용량보다 2배가 넘었다. 2배 이상. Let's have a look at the headline again. I'm going to read it one more time. China's electricity consumption last year surpassed 10 trillion kilowatt hours for the first time, more than twice that of the US, and exceeding the combined usage of the European Union, Russia, India, and Japan. Let's move on to the next headline.
Russia's far eastern Kamchatka Peninsula has been buried under several meters of snow in what's deemed as the heaviest snowfall in 6 decades, causing multiple casualties, disrupting transportation, closing roads, and burying buildings and cars.
60년 만에 최악의 폭설이 내린 러시아 극동 캄차카 반도 지역이 몇 미터 높이의 눈에 파묻히면서 사상자 여러 명이 나오고 교통 마비 및 도로 폐쇄가 야기됐으며 건물과 자동차가 눈더미에 매몰됐습니다. This isn't just like a winter wonderland here. We're talking about too much snow.
In one of the coldest places on Earth, in
Yeah,
terms of inhabited places on Earth as well. So they received more than 2 meters of snow in the first half of January. And in December, they received 3.7 meters of snow. So over the last 2 months, they've received 5.7 meters of snow. So yeah, it's an awful lot. I mean, we're talking about cars and buildings that are completely submerged. Even like, I mean, 4-wheel drive cars, they can't drive through the snow because it's like a wall
Yeah.
of snow unless it's been cleared or snow plowed to create the road. So yeah, certainly some transportation issues among other things.
그래요. 자, 이 캄차카 반도는 러시아 극동 지역입니다. 거기에서 아주 기록적인 눈이 내려서 많은 피해가 지금 있어요. 도시 기능이 뭐 거의 마비됐다고 볼 수 있겠고, 지금 얘기하신 것처럼 일부 지역에서는 2m, 뭐 3m, 4m까지도 눈이 쌓였는데, 또 소셜미디어에서는 어떤 사람은 우리 집이 10층인데 우리 집까지도 눈이 쌓였다라고 해서 maybe, you know, depending on where the building is and how the snow mounts, you know, for some reason it was visible on the 10th floor, like it was pretty much outside the house. So, you know, that's definitely way too much snow than we need. 자, 러시아에서 비상사태가 선포됐습니다. Okay, this is the expression to look at here. In what is deemed as.
If something is deemed as something, then people kind of agree or acknowledge that this is what we believe. So it says here what's deemed as the heaviest snowfall in 6 decades. Well, everyone kind of agrees or understands this is how we see it, how we
Right.
view it.
이렇게 여겨진다, 간주된다. It is deemed as something. D-E-E-M-E-D. Deemed as blah, blah, blah. So this is deemed as the worst snow in about 60 years. And there are multiple casualties.
Casualties are another way of talking about death. So I think, when you hear the word death, it's got a really morbid, negative connotation.
Yeah.
The thing about casualty, we hear it more in the news and on TV, news anchors usually will say, the casualty. And it just sounds a little bit more pleasant to me personally.
But it's deaths and injuries
Yes.
combined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just sounds less morbid than death, certainly.
Yeah,
right?
I
I guess
guess
you'll
so.
hear people say death count sometimes as well.
Death
but
toll or, yeah.
yeah, it seems to be more of an official way of talking about it.
그렇죠. 사상자라는 뜻입니다. 사망자와 부상자 합쳐서 casualties. 사상자고요. 실제로 사망자도 나왔고 부상자도 나왔습니다. 항공 당연히 지금 중단된 상태고 대중교통도 마찬가지고요. 학교도 대부분 이 지역에서 지금 다닐 수가 없으니까 휴교 상태여서 마치 코로나 때처럼 원격 수업을 지금 또 하고 있고요. 또 일부 사업장은 재택근무를 하고 있는 상황입니다.
Sometimes we will also talk about casualties as something lost in a process. So, it doesn't necessarily have to be people. You
Okay.
could say, this was a casualty of this situation. So, maybe a machine was destroyed or
Right,
or
right.
something else happened where we lost some sort of property or something. That was kind of like the... what do we call that? When you lose something that wasn't meant to be, something lost in the crossfire, a casualty of that situation.
Okay, so in a more general sense, you
Yeah,
can use
yeah.
it like that as well. All right, well, here's the headline one more time. Russia's far eastern Kamchatka Peninsula has been buried under several meters of snow in what's deemed as the heaviest snowfall in 6 decades, causing multiple casualties, disrupting transportation, closing roads, and burying buildings and cars. Let's move on to the final headline.
One of the largest solar storms in 2 decades has struck Earth, producing auroras visible across parts of the UK, Canada, Germany, and as far south as northern Italy.
자, 20년 만에 발생한 초강력 태양 폭풍의 영향으로 영국, 캐나다, 독일 일부 지역 및 이탈리아 북부에서까지 오로라가 관측됐습니다. All right, so tell us about this. This is unusual. It's not your average, northern lights.
Yeah, and usually the northern lights don't go down very far south. It's only visible in certain parts of the north. But
Which is why it's called the Northern Lights.
Exactly, yeah. But in this particular case, they're getting these solar flares or solar storms that are much more intense. So they're saying that the strongest in 2 decades. And because of that, these are visible a lot further south on Earth.
자, 서유럽에서 이렇게 오로라가 관측이 많이 되고 있는데요. 통상적으로 우리가 오로라 하면은 그 북쪽 지방, 캐나다도 북쪽에서 볼 수 있죠.
Yeah, actually, I used to live in northern Canada
Oh,
in
you did?
a place called Dawson Creek, and we would see the auroras very regularly. Yeah, and the other thing to point out is that because it's winter right now
Yeah.
in the northern hemisphere, the sun goes down much earlier, so it's much more visible. Whereas if it were the summer and the sun's going down maybe 9 p.m., 10 p.m. in the northern parts of the world, then it's not as readily visible because of that.
Interesting.
But because
Okay.
it's winter, it's darker. That's another reason that it is going to be visible further
Yep.
south.
그래요. 근데 이번에 그 이례적인 이 오로라가 관측이 된 게 1월 19일 밤에서 20일 새벽 사이였는데요. 벨기에, 독일, 프랑스, 덴마크, 그다음에 핀란드에서도 관측이 됐다고 합니다. 보통의 오로라는 영어로 Northern Lights라고 부르는 이유가 북쪽 지방에서 보통 관측이 되기 때문인데 아까 이탈리아에서도 관측이 됐다라는 건 상당히 아래쪽이거든요. 전체 유럽을 놓고 봤을 때는. 그래서 왜 그랬느냐? 태양 활동 급증으로 상당히 많은 전하 입자가 방출되면서 생긴 이례적인 오로라라고 합니다. 그게 왜 그런지는 지금 분석 중인데요. 뭐 GPS나 위성 통신, 항법 시스템이 일시적으로 장애를 일으켜서 이랬을 것이다. 뭐 이런 분석이 나오고 있더라고요. 앞으로도 또 나타날 수 있는데 this aurora is red. It's a bit different to the green aurora you used to seeing.
Yeah, I mean, it changes colors quite a bit. It can
okay.
be red, orange. It can be kind of blue, green, purple as well,
interesting.
depending on and sometimes it's just white, depending on if you see it from a distance. So yeah, it looks different, but yeah, I guess they are saying that this one is more red than usual.
Exactly. And in the headline it says it's because of a solar storm. What's
Yeah.
a solar anything?
Anything solar means that it has to do with the sun. So we talk about solar panels to
Yeah.
collect sun energy, or we talk about solar energy, using the sun to create energy. So anything that's solar, we're talking about the sun.
그래서 태양과 관련된 거는 다 solar라고 하죠. 그래서 일반적으로 우리가 쓰는 달력이 Gregorian calendar라고도 하지만 you could maybe say it's the solar calendar.
Yep, absolutely.
이제 반면에 우리가 이제 음력 요거는 lunar calendar라고 부르죠. 그래서 해와 달, solar, lunar. 자, 여기서 얘기하는 solar storm이라는 거는요. 우리말로는 이제 강력한 지자기 폭풍 이렇게 표현을 하고 있는데 태양에 의해서 발생한 폭풍이라고 볼 수 있겠습니다. And what's visible?
Something that's visible is something that can be seen. I can see it.
Yeah.
So it's visible. If it's invisible, then I can't see it. It's,
Yeah.
it's not visible. You can't see it. So visible, something that you can be seen, something that you can't see is invisible.
Exactly. 보이는 거는 visible. 불투명하거나 안 보이면은 invisible.
And it's saying that the auroras are visible across, these areas.
Yeah.
Typically, it's invisible in a lot of areas, but now it's visible.
그렇죠. 자, 보통은 관측이 잘 안 되는 지역에서조차 이번에 관측이 됐습니다. 다시 읽어볼게요. One of the largest solar storms in 2 decades has struck Earth, producing auroras visible across parts of the UK, Canada, Germany, and as far south as northern Italy. All right, well, that's it for the headlines with Jason Lee.